Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing. You're joining us today for some more social media pie. This is my fun interview series where I am inviting special guests who are inspiring people coming online to inform and educate you. So we're going live here on LinkedIn and Facebook. If you're joining us live, I'd like to invite you to take a moment to drop a comment below. Let us know where you're joining us from in the world, and if you're watching this in live or if you're watching it in playback. And today's topic is video storytelling and marketing tips. So I'd love to hear from the audience if you have any questions about video. Are you doing video yet? Are you not up on video yet and kind of hesitating for some reason? Or if you just have questions about video marketing as well, let's drop those questions on in the comments as well, because we'll be taking those from Matt here as we get started with our interview. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to pull this up on screen here. And I just saw that we went live on LinkedIn. It was a little bit of a delay to come up there. So I always like to wait for that prompt on my phone so I kind of know that you guys are on and you're able to see us. And I'm just going to toggle off of the picture here on screen so you can see there's actually people behind the screen here. Hey, Matt, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. We were just getting set up for the video here a minute ago, and I had a laptop crash, which was really fun. It was a great experience. And Matt was
you went away and fixed it, and you came back and you're like, all right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Okay.
And it's funny because when I do these videos, I tell guests, like, man, I say, arrive 5 minutes early so we can chat for a little bit, make sure everything's working out. And it's more for their benefit than for mine. But then here my laptop crashes in the middle of it. So we're really live, you guys, and I don't make mistakes. I experience learning situations, and I experienced a learning situation today about my video memory or my computer memory, because I was downloading some really large video files earlier, and I think it sucked all of my battery life out. So I'm going to get myself back into position here. I got to get my camera going. Hello, you're going to come along with me for the ride because I had to get up and get another laptop set up here. And we're joined today by Matt Dibble. So Matt, I am so excited to have you here today. And I got to ask, what the heck? I got to look this way. What is that right there that's behind you?
I don't know. It's a deer, I think.
Is that a window? Are you hunting? Is it watching us? What's happening here?
It's like 3 parts of a picture.
Oh, that's cool.
That make the full picture of a deer. And my lighting is a little spotty, so it's hard to see. But I'm at the office. I'm at the office coffee shop in Royal Oak.
You are? Do you have a room in there, or where are you at? Are you out in the open or what?
Yeah, no, I rented one of the rooms. You can, for like $15, you can rent a room here. Okay. So I rented a room. My kids are home. So my kids are on vacation.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't have anywhere to do this. And so I'm renting a room. I can't do it with the kids. It would be crazy.
That might be fun. Do you remember that, who was it, that news guy who was doing like a live podcast on CNN? Yeah. I'll drop the link in the show notes later. But the kid comes in and they're like dancing away. I mean, your kids would be fun on video, I think, too, right?
Okay, they want to sit on my lap and touch all the buttons and wonder what's going on. It would be chaos. No, it wouldn't be fun. I mean, they're fun, but it wouldn't be fun for them.
It would be fun for us, and it'd be fun for our viewing audience, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So speaking of, let's see who's online right now. I'm just going up on LinkedIn to see who's on. And we're on a Friday afternoon here doing this live at a little over 3 o'clock Eastern time. And what I do is I always kind of just pull up my phone to see who's watching, and I'm still experiencing a delay on my phone. I'm not seeing any comments coming in yet, but I do see that it is live streaming. And I'm sure, Matt, that's not because of your lack of popularity, because we've been talking about this interview for like months now, and
nobody loves me.
No, you do. Oh, here they come. Here are the comments. So let's see who we got online here. Princey Sharma says hi Matt. Princey, thanks for joining in. Sandra waves to us, so let's wave to Sandra. Good. Wave.
Hey Sandra, how are you?
Curtis Pace, do you know that guy, Curtis? Is he a character or what?
Curtis is my man. Curtis is like, if you want to be found on the internet, Curtis is the guy that gets you found.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
Curtis is a web guy. And then Andy Foote says hello dear with a D-E-E-R on there as well. And Andy would have loved the kid interruption. So I might actually have a kid interruption a little bit later too. Yeah. My daughter's going to get home from school, and I'm in my living room. I can see the bus stop from where I'm at. So if we're not wrapped by the time she gets home, I might wave to her when she walks in the door. So So let's get started here. So we're here talking not just banter today, but we actually do have a focused topic. I'm going to pull it up on screen here. And I've been doing these lives for a little while, and I started to get more refinement kind of about the process. And I've been reaching out to really, really awesome people in my network. And Matt was one of the first people I reached out to. And I said, let's talk. And I said, what do you want to talk about, Matt? And you said, I think you said video storytelling and marketing, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're about, right?
So tell us about your topic and how does that relate to you, the work that you do, and then maybe we can give some audience tips on video marketing today.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of ways to approach conversations about video. You know, you can talk about the equipment, the editing, the content. I like to sort of focus in that area on like what is the content of the video, because you know, really good videos are really great. Like you can do a polished video and it looks amazing, but I almost feel like as a community we're moving past this need to have everything be super polished, and I think a lot of people would benefit from you know, just doing videos kind of on their own, like taking the budget out of it and sort of understanding how to make a small video that looks pretty good, that has like great content, you know, because you can control the content.
It's kind of like what we're doing right now, right? I mean, you and I could have probably scripted and done an hour prep call and talked about exactly what we're going to talk about and how you're going to respond and what the links are. But I think people appreciate more of that just natural conversation that's happening, and, you know, kind of a slice of life and getting a glimpse into things too, right?
Yeah, and I think video is like becoming increasingly important. You know, it's sort of gone from, I mean, when we started doing video on the internet, companies like didn't even know why they were doing video on the internet, you know, like why they were making video.
Some don't know why they're doing it still.
That's true. I guess that's true. You know, like it was like, well, I guess maybe we're going to put it on our website. I don't know. But it's become such a powerful tool to get to know people and businesses and what they're about and what they stand for. You know, you can read all the copy in the world, and obviously copy's never, you know, super important, but you don't get that human touch that you get with video, and the ability to like really communicate a video in your own words and with your own, or communicate a message, you know, communicate what you're about in your own words. So it's super powerful. And then you start talking about content, and you know, we start getting into like why you're doing what you're doing. And this cool thing about video is it's like self-fulfilling a little bit. It helps you to put yourself out there and be talking about your work, which like feeds on itself. You know, you start talking about why you're doing the work that you're doing, and that starts sort of feeding your life and feeding the activities that you're doing. And you share stories of your work, and it's like cyclical. You know, it's like the more you do it, the more sort of momentum you build.
So it sounds like you've been doing video for a while. I mean, was this what you went to school for, or how did you kind of get into what you're doing right now?
I went to school for construction management at Michigan State University. I did that for about a cup of coffee, and then I realized not only did I not like it, but I wasn't good at it. It just like was not my forte.
Did you graduate with that and then you got into the field and realized that, or did you?
I did, yeah. I mean, I was like building houses through college. I kind of like all the money that I made in college was made through building houses.
That's cool.
But like framing homes and being like in the construction world is super different. You know, it's like very different things. So I got out of that and got into like sales and ended up in the marketing world. And a friend of mine and I made a short video called 6 Minutes.
Oh yeah?
It was about parking meters in Royal Oak.
I got to look that up. Is that like on YouTube or where's that at? Where could one
find that video? I don't know. You'd have to, I don't even think you could search 6 minutes. It was so long ago. That's what a nickel got you in Royal Oak. It got you 6 minutes at a parking meter.
Is that what it was? Really? Wow.
Yeah, now it's like 30 seconds, right? Wow. But I think if you Google 6 minutes, you know, and then like my name or Detroit, it's on Vimeo for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, we got all this like attention from this little video, and I kind of went, oh, like this is a thing that I could do. This is a, you know, I've been looking for a reason to kind of quit and do my own thing. And then it quickly shifted right from video to story. I mean, we were saying share your stories, and people would be like, do you write books? I don't get it. What does that mean? And now companies have storytelling budgets.
Yeah.
And so we've come like a super long way in 10 years. And for us, at the like the bottom of it, the base of it all is really, it gives you the ability to talk about your customer in a way that engages with them. Mm-hmm. To share your customers, what they want, the challenges that there's, oh look, there's 6 minutes.
Did I find it? Did you like?
You found it, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look back on it now, of course, and I'm like, oh my God.
Wasn't it so good? But don't you look back, and you know, when I first kind of heard about you, and I think it was through, who was it? Terry Bean, Brandon Chestnut, one of the guys, I don't know. But when I first heard about you and I was starting to research, not stalk you, research and look you up. And then I looked you up because you're the video guy, of course. So I looked you up on YouTube and a couple of places, and I started watching all of your video tips. And you inspired me to start, you know, kind of getting started with video. And I look back at myself when I first did my first few, and now where I'm at today. And you know, you look at the progress, but there's an appreciation for that rawness, and you know, just where you come from, and kind of how you learn from doing more and more video over time, right?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because it's also out there, you know. It's like you look back on something that you're just, you know, and it's like everything that anyone makes, right? I judge myself way harder on it than you would judge me for those things. It's just like, that's the same way with, you know, you renovate your basement, you're going to feel the same way. Like you're going to judge yourself about things. But it is super interesting. Sort of, you can see this journey of how far you've come in technology too. That's the other thing. Like technology has come so far. This iPhone, I can probably do better quality video than what we did there on 6 minutes.
Isn't that crazy?
You know, so it is crazy. And you were just mentioning that about using someone on Fiverr to edit.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're taking a phone or whatever you're using, and you're creating 5 minutes of footage, and then you're giving that with a vision to someone who can put it all together, and you spent an hour and $20.
Right, exactly. It's like the trade-off in the time too, right? Because you know, I could use the time doing the editing myself, or I can give it to somebody else, and then it's just a matter of how much budget do I have, and what's my comfort level with the level of expert video quality I get back. Meaning, I could pay you and have you do my video. I'm not at that point with my business yet where I can afford that, but it's the trade-off of my time spent 2 to 3 hours doing editing work that I can't do productive work versus somebody who is doing this overseas for $20, and then I get it back after a revision or two. You know, I don't have to spend any time on it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're saving money. I mean, if you think of it with like how much an hour of your time is worth,
right?
It's actually less expensive for you to do it that way than sit and like edit, you know, for 3 hours. I mean, there is some importance too, because you're talking about content and you've got to like nail the story of the videos, right? So being able to communicate like a clear vision to someone of this is what I'm looking for, and then trusting that they can go out and execute on that.
Yeah.
But it's all out there. And I think a big challenge for a lot of people is crossing that barrier of comfort. You know, of like, I think Seth Godin, where I get this from, is like, it's one of the hardest things in the world is to say, I made this. You know, judge it. Yeah. It's just really hard.
Because looking at yourself and your work, you're so critical of the end product, and you think about what you could have done differently, and you compare yourself to others that are maybe more experienced in the field or in that area too, right?
And we all feel like frauds. Right? We've all.
I think that too. Do you have imposter syndrome?
Oh my God.
I feel like women, we talk about that a lot, but do you have that? Do you have that feeling yourself sometimes?
Everybody I know has that.
Really?
I have it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. I think like, I actually think that in a strange way helps to sharpen my knife.
Yeah. It
like,
does.
you know, like I feel those things, and if I let that bury me, then I'm sunk. But if I allow that to like feed sort of my juices and my energy, and I know that I've got to work harder because I'm, you know, I just know I'm not as talented as the other people. That's what the imposter complex tells me. And so, you know, maybe I'm getting this like leg up because I'm really kind of kicking in the pants because I feel like a fraud.
Right. But haven't you learned though over time, you don't need to be the best at it. You just need to be better than the person who's paying you to do the work. Right?
It's really funny. So what it comes down to is like, can I convince them that I'm better than they are?
Right.
So that's all of business.
It's kind of like we're pulling a scam on it, but it really, I mean, you have a lot of expertise, and I know you've been doing video work for a while, and, you know, bringing people through that process, and where, you know, people who are coming to you don't have that level of expertise that you do have, or, you know, maybe they do have an in-house person who can handle it, but they can't ever get around to it. So when they assign it as a project to you, it gets done, right?
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it, right? Yeah. That's sort of the trade-off for, I mean, you know, hiring teams to do this, it's super expensive. Like, expensive is relative, but like these teams that go out and shoot commercials, you know, those are 6 figures. And a lot of sort of production teams, that's the type of work that they're staffing for and that they're looking for. And so, but there are a lot of people out there who aren't staffing for $100,000 commercials. You know, they're staffing for, and the market's so fluid. You can like, there's so many freelancers, you can find people who run cameras, and it takes a little bit of work, and you got to get comfortable and used to them. But, you know, the options are out there, and you just it's like about getting comfortable and taking that step, and getting good. You have to practice. Like I used to say, who wrote this?
It looks
Edward Catmull.
I'm going to look back at you. Wait, it's this way. Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Hi, dear. Says that every story has to suck. He's Edward Catmull, right? He's Pixar, like one of the Pixar originators. And his whole thing is like, you have to start with bad in order to get to good. And this is no different. You've got to start and allow it to like be, you know, not perfect, so that you can practice and get better. And
you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? The not overly polished produce, you know, you may have a lighting issue or a sound issue or something, or even you look back and say, well, gosh, I'm saying a lot in that video, or I don't sound intelligent. My facial expressions look stiff. Like we keep playing and replaying all of these why I shouldn't do video again in our head. And what we should do is stop doing that and just start doing more video.
Yeah. I mean, I get it because it's hard and you're putting yourself out there, but you know, it's super necessary in today's world that you're like sharing these stories of how you can help people, you know, be their best, because that's what we're all listening for in our world, right? We're listening, we're hardwired that way. It is evolution for me to be interested in things that can make my life better.
Right.
And so if you're not out there talking about that, if you're not out there talking about what I want, why I can't get it, and how you can help me get it, then people don't listen. They don't listen to that, to whatever you're selling. So video, you know, go ahead.
No, video helps with that. And I, you know, I've been working with you for a little bit on helping you with your LinkedIn strategy and, you know, encouraging you to put yourself out there more. So have you thought about, I mean, I know you did this a while back. You took the old older, I want to say TEDx Detroit clip of yourself, and you put it up on LinkedIn, and it was kind of like the whole thing blew up all over again. It was, the amount of engagement and things that you got on the platform. Are you thinking about bringing more of your messages out onto video? I'm putting you on the spot right now with this one.
You are putting me on the spot, girl.
Because you have good content. I mean, that's part of the reason I wanted to get you in this interview today is I've learned a lot from you, and I'm actually going to pull up one of the links up on screen right now. And this is this free music archive site. So I'm going to pull this up, and then I'm going to pull the screen up in the background here. But tell us a little bit about this site and what you use it for, and how people who are watching today could use this to supplement their videos.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about budget, right? And so these little tricks are always really great for sort of working your way around paying people. I don't like to say it like that, but sometimes budgets don't allow to pay for music, right? So there's a website called Free Music Archive where as long as you're crediting the producer in your video somewhere at the end, you have access to a whole library of basically free music. So and there's a lot of like little things like that, Unsplash is free photography.
Yeah.
You credit. What's the other one? Yeah, it'll come to me.
So this, you said you have to credit them at the end. So if someone were to use this video and then use this archive to find music and then put it in their YouTube video, do I need to credit that in my YouTube video description then? Music from Young Cats, Picture Perfect. Do I need to put that in my YouTube credits?
Yeah, I mean, you should be crediting for like anything that you use that you didn't create, really. That's kind of the rule of thumb.
Is that just good etiquette, or is that like a legal requirement though?
Yeah, it's a lot of both. Like, it's good etiquette, really. I mean, we do a lot of work with other people. I actually struggled with that in the early days where, I wanted to like hold it close. Like I made this, and when I was out marketing Final Five, it was just like, we did this.
Right.
And I realized that I was alienating people and that people who had worked on things, money is important, but so they like getting paid for their work, but equally important is this idea that like we're lifting each other up. And so it's really, for me, that's what it's about. I mean, you don't have to like credit people who edit your videos but if you're using assets for your video, images, songs, it's etiquette to credit. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to put this tip up on screen here. Credit them is what I'm going to say here, just so people remember that. Cause I think you just gave a really good tip for them, for those that are listening in, kind of watching here too, which is, let's help. And I've always been a big proponent of this too. And I kind of call it social media karma. Let's pay it forward. Let's shine the spotlight on others, give other people visibility. But I like what you're saying here in the music. I mean, we're using free stock music or free stock photography. Let's give them some credit in our final project because they've helped us to get there. We're not paying them for that work, versus if you are paying somebody for it, you've already compensated them, and that's monetarily. So this is kind of compensating them through just etiquette and kind of putting it out there so that other people can see their work and, consider using them as well.
Yeah, a lot of times you might link to them, right? If I'm using Unsplash, which is unsplash.com, I believe. Yeah. They give you, like, you can copy a credit, and part of that has a link back to Unsplash. A couple other tips that I would say, if we're talking about video tips, is it goes, let me get my hands in, light source, camera, you.
Okay.
Right? So light source is behind the camera, facing the same direction as the camera, which is pointing at the object.
Okay.
So just don't have light behind you.
Okay.
That's distracting. And then this seems so easy, but I know it's hard to kind of remember but look at the frame. Like, look at the full frame of your camera and make sure that it looks as good as it can.
Okay.
You know, clean things. If you have interesting things, like you should see how many plants we move. Like if there is a plant,
off my camera like this right now, and
you're smudging, and you see your fingerprints all over it. Yeah, you know, like this, putting this guy in it, right?
Right.
Like it's called a creative decision.
Well, this is like you're staging your background, right? And I don't know if you can see, I moved my camera around a little bit to try to get it out of here, but I've got a dot on the wall right there behind me. Yeah. And I kind of got on early and moved the camera this way so you wouldn't see it. And
got that nice corner.
Right. And then you and I are both kind of looking at, we contrast what we're wearing is contrasting with our background. So we're not.
Oh, you're right.
It was all staged. Cool. You and I did this on purpose, right?
Pretty cool. Really cool.
Yeah. But I like how you say light source camera you, because right now I'm sitting in my front room and I've got the light source behind me, which is my front window, and I'm using natural light for this. And then I've got my camera, which is the webcam pointed at me. And I like how you say that's a really good, useful tip for people. And I personally, I mean, I'm not at your level of video quality and production equipment, but I have an external webcam, which works better than the desktop laptop.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Yeah.
The natural light is important. It's the best. Natural light's the best. Like if you have a sunny day, just open a window and kneel in front of that window.
Yeah. And I see you've got the earbuds in. So are you using, I'm just using my computer for the audio on here. I'm not using a fancy microphone or anything like that. But are you using a microphone as well? Or is that just for listening, or what's happening there?
This is what's capturing. Yeah, the AirPods are capturing my audio because I'm kind of in a public place.
That's right. Yeah.
So I wanted to like be able to have it right here. But audio is a good question. I really feel like like phone audio is fine. Like WDET uses phone audio on some of their stuff. So if it's good enough for them, like it's good enough for me. But there are Bluetooth options where you can get a little like lapel mic that can Bluetooth to your phone.
Okay.
And you can have like a microphone on the person. Like maybe if you're outside and it's windy, or if you're in a really loud area and you need to be able to get your audio source like right on top of your, you know, your person.
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy some like inexpensive Bluetooth microphones.
So I got one recently, and it was just more. It's a corded one where it plugs into my phone, and then I lapel microphone that I use. But I haven't done that yet with the live video, because technically, I guess I could plug that in, and then I think the broadcast audio would come through my computer, but it'd be capturing from the lapel mic, right? I feel like I don't know enough about these things where if I plug it in, am I not going to hear it? You know what I mean? Like, is it just capturing versus broadcasting? Do I need both a sound source going in and out?
I think you'd probably be okay. I think it would work. I mean, I can hear you sound fine. You sound great. But I can hear your room.
Yeah.
You know, can you hear my room?
No.
Like you're echoing a little bit.
Okay. I was going to say, what does that mean? You can hear my room. So you can hear a little bit of background noise right now is what you're saying.
Well, just a little echo when you talk.
Okay. All right.
You know, but it's not a problem. But you would probably clear that up with a microphone.
But you've got
the ear for that.
I don't have the ear for that. I don't have the ear for that. You've got the ear for that. You do this a lot. So, you know, you're not.
Yeah. So like, that's not a huge deal. I don't let that get in the way.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's good to hear we don't need to be perfect in the things that we do, and to hear that feedback from you. And I'm going to pop your LinkedIn URL up on screen right now, Matt, because I want to encourage people, if they're watching this video, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it in playback later on. And right now we're streaming on LinkedIn and Facebook. And while I'm mentioning that, if you want to add a comment on LinkedIn, definitely add a comment below. If there's a question you have about video that you'd like to ask Matt, you can drop that below. But if you go on LinkedIn, I have to look at my phone, and there's a little bit of a delay for that. If you go on my Facebook page and watch the stream there, you can actually submit a question in on Facebook, on facebook.com/Meller Marketing on the live stream, and I can pull your comment up on screen right now. So I don't see any comments yet that are coming, but I'm going to leave that out there. And while we're waiting to see if anyone does have any questions they want us to put up on screen, I'm going to scroll and see who else is joining us. So Julia says, brand new social media is overwhelming to me. So I think she's really appreciating your tips, Matt. And then
it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
It's overwhelming for us, right?
Yeah, there's a lot about it.
There's another person, Sandra. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? She says that Nasir Yassin creates 1-minute videos with good content. Sandra, if you have his LinkedIn or YouTube or Vimeo, if you could drop it in the comments, we'd appreciate it. Curtis, I don't know what that video is. Curtis put a YouTube link up on screen. Could that be dangerous, or should I trust what he's sending us?
It could be embarrassing for me.
For you. Curtis says that YouTube is the second largest search engine. I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, so he's like bringing up another reason why you need to be doing video, right? It's like people are there. You're no longer going to YouTube just, or people aren't searching just on Google anymore. They're searching in YouTube. It's like, I want to watch a video about LinkedIn marketing.
Right.
And so being able to sort of tell your story on YouTube and get views is very important,
And it's funny, today's, I don't know about your kids, my kids are now growing up in this generation of technology and social media. And my daughter now, when we watch TV at night, she's not just watching TV, she's watching YouTube. And she goes through, she's really into cooking. So she's watching a lot of the cooking shows and the kids cooking and stuff like that. And she just sits on there. I mean, she could sit on there for hours if I let her. But she's, YouTube is like a destination place for watching. It's not just, coming in quick and getting a video and leaving. It's
totally. It's a destination for like entertainment. Mm-hmm. And also it's become our like how-to source.
Yeah.
Like that there's a video on how to do everything, and it's on YouTube. And so there's huge views there, and like pretty inexpensive. If you're an organization and Curtis can help with this, he can speak to it more than I can, but basically you can still get YouTube views for relatively inexpensive compared to Google and Facebook ads, soaring to the roof. So like Curtis and I will work together for a client, and we'll make a 30-second video, and then he'll put it up in an ad. He'll, driving people to a website. You can drive people to your YouTube page and get thousands of views for relatively inexpensive, because there's still not the market there, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's just value in the market. Maybe that's the better way to say it.
Right. So Curtis, he found the link for that guy, the newscaster we were talking about earlier.
Oh, Curtis. Nice. Can we talk a little bit about what kinds of things to put in your video?
No, we can't talk about that. No. Yeah, we can
talk about that.
This is a very fluid conversation here today, Matt. And I usually try to keep these to around a half hour or so, and we're a little but I'm okay with going maybe another 10 or 15 minutes if you're okay with that. And we still got people joining us, and we've got a bunch of questions that are coming in. So if you're okay with that, we'll go another 10 or 15. Is that cool?
I booked until 5. Are we not?
You can.
We're not having dinner?
I'm gonna go walk around, and I gotta, get the mail, and I'll just come back periodically and check in. And I did hear that somebody tried to break the record for the longest live stream on LinkedIn, and I think it was 4 hours. Either StreamYard or LinkedIn kicked them off. They wouldn't let them go longer than that. So
4 hours. It's perfect. I have pizza coming. So.
Pizza, yeah. No, go ahead. You had something. You said you had another tip.
Well, yeah. I get that a lot. I get a lot of like, what do I put in my video? Like, what should I be talking? Oh, here we go.
You see it?
Yeah, that was so good.
Good one.
That dude handled it really well too.
No, people are saying like it would have been better if he would have turned around and just like said, "Hey, I'm working right now," and like been a human being about it. But he's on BBC, and he's got to just keep doing his job, and somebody else.
He's a pro.
Right.
The show must go on no matter what.
Yeah.
I think he nailed it.
Yeah, that's too funny.
So I get a lot of like, what kind of content should we be talking about? What should I putting out? What should I be doing videos about? And so we've really like began shifting Final Five in that direction around like helping you find and share your stories. Mm-hmm. We have a workshop that we're developing.
Oh, cool.
Out for that. Yeah, it's gonna be very cool. I'm very excited about it. And the gist of sort of like the most powerful thing that I could say today, I believe, sort of what's like changing the way that we do work is that people, so the way to approach the work is that you are not the hero of the story, right?
Yeah.
Your customer is the hero. I mean, we all kind of speak in story, right? We how we've talked forever. We're sort of drawn to stories. I mean, the human brain daydreams like 2,000 times a day or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like go watch a movie, you're locked in for 2 hours, and
Right.
like nowhere else does that happen in your life. So, and it sounds a little bit soft maybe when we're talking about stories, but the point of it is that there's a formula to your communications, and it's not super hard. The gist of it is that you're not the hero, you're the mentor, right?
Okay.
You're the guide, because people are looking for someone who can help them do things, and they're looking for guides in their work. So when we talk about ourselves in our videos, a lot of times we're talking about us as like the star of the video, and people check out from that because we're all kind of like the heroes of our own story, you know? And so we're trying to help people shift that message to be more about your customer. What do they want? Why can't they get it? How does that impact their life? And how do you help them get that thing? Like, it's super simple. So your customers' challenges, you should be talking about your customers' challenges all the time. Why they can't get what they want, why they're struggling. You should really be known. Like the goal is to be known. Did you just say hi to your daughter?
I was trying to be like so stealth. That would have been so smooth on that. She's walking in right now, so I had to go unlock the front door and still, because I didn't want her like banging on the door. Because you were like deep into like a really good, video thought. And
so talk about your customers' challenges.
Yeah.
It's huge. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone who can tell them what they want and why they can't get it. So just like from a really simple perspective.
I want to ask you a question. You were talking about a workshop that you're doing. Is it on your website, or how could I learn more about that if I wanted to sign up and come and check it out?
You have to DM me at this point, and I'll kind of like keep people up to date as it comes, or link up with me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I'll be sharing it when we do our first one. We're finalizing content right now. I'm working with Joe Bastian from Both Colors, and we're finalizing content right now. And then, we're gonna do, a couple of trials. I'm thinking about like getting a hold of Tech Town, trying to find someone who can help us like run through it before we really launch it. So if we're connected on LinkedIn, you'll get like early access to that.
She's just walking in the front door. I don't know if she's going to come into the video. Hi, how are you? She's picking up all the Amazon packages that my husband ordered today off the front porch right now, which is fun.
Hi, daughter. Hi, Brenda's daughter.
So you'll be announcing it coming up soon. That's good to know. And then I'm going to put your LinkedIn URL up on screen here again for people. Where's it at? Matthew Dibble. Here you are. So people could DM you there.
That's it. Yeah. Or just connect. I'll be sharing lots of stuff about it as we move forward.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool that you're offering some different formats, because you work with, from what I know, I believe you work with small businesses, but mainly large organizations and corporations. And then now it sounds like you're starting to do this workshop series, rolling this out where you can cater to a different crowd who maybe doesn't have the budget to afford the high-end work that you're doing, but can learn from you, right?
Yeah, I think it's all a part of our evolution, of going from like video producers to like an organization that helps companies communicate value and I like to say inspire people to action through the stories that they tell. So yeah, we're still like steeped in video work, and we, videos are budgetary 5,000 to 100, and that's just not super accessible for a lot of people.
Well, because there's people that are involved, there's crews that you have to hire, there's equipment, and there's the parade.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not like trying to make reasoning for why it's just that's the price of it. But I feel like there's a lot of people who want to venture into this world without those kinds of budgets. So
yeah,
my thought is always like, how do we reach those people?
That's cool. I like that you're doing that though, because it's that's, I think, originally after you and I met and I was looking up, and I've learned a lot from you along the way too. So you've been the kind of person too, like when I have a client that's looking for video, I'm going to think of you, and there's possibly some referral opportunities that are coming there. Speaking of thinking of you for video, we have a question. I just made a segue that didn't even make sense, but I'm going to keep going there. Speaking, we had somebody speaking. There we go. There's a nice segue. So Sandra popped onto our Facebook and she asked a question, which I think you can see there, Matt. Type of video gear and editing software do you use? So what do you use? And I can share with Sandra what I use too.
I use my phone. I use that a lot, just because it's easy. I mean, there's like multiple types of video, right? Are we talking Instagram stories? Because technically that's video, and I love Instagram stories. It's like a really low pressure way to sort of share what I'm talking about and what's going on.
Yeah.
But, we have, I use a Canon 5D sometimes.
Okay.
But that's a little bit bulky. I'm thinking about making like a personal investment into a different type of camera. So video gear, I'm really like, me personally, I'm focused on my phone and my 5D.
Okay. And do you use what was the second part of the question? What type of
editing software?
What do you use for editing?
So I use the Adobe suite of products, which includes Premiere Pro. It's like $50 a month, and you get access to the video suite. You get access to Illustrator, Photoshop. But it's relatively easy to learn. It's called non-linear editing.
Okay.
Final Cut is the same thing. It just means that like the old way that they used to edit was linear. They'd have film, and they literally cut it and then tape the two pieces together. And now we have the ability to edit things non-linearly.
Okay.
So I can like have my whole footage and I can lay things on top of it, and those things will show up.
Right.
It's kind of easier. I don't know like the exact definition.
Okay.
But it basically allows us to edit things in a non-linear fashion. That's non-linear cool. Editing.
I like it.
But there's free ones too. There's like free editing softwares, and Dreamscape maybe. Microsoft Word has, or Microsoft has one that's free.
Okay.
There's Final Cut Pro.
Yep,
which is really similar to Premiere. Apple has a product called iMovie.
Yep.
Which is actually, it comes on all your Macs.
Yeah, my son
actually learned on that.
Yeah.
Your son what?
He had that at school, and I think they first started getting devices in school, iPads, when he was, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade or so. And now like the school district my kids are in, starting, I think, Charlotte, did you have it in kindergarten, or was it 1st grade you got your iPad first?
Well, kindergarten.
Kindergarten was when they started, and then they can bring them home starting in 3rd grade. So it's the first year she can actually bring one home from school.
Cool.
But he's been, my son was like growing up with a device in hand. And I remember, I think it was in 4th grade for him, they would train the teachers on how to use the iPads, but they just started using them. And there was one point in the school year where the teacher, we were at conferences, and she was telling me, she's like, yeah, if I have a question about the iPad and I don't know, I go to Joshua and I have him come up to the front of the class and show them how to use it. So
that's really funny.
Proud mom moment. So, and I, in addition to the software you mentioned, I'll just add, I use Camtasia. I don't know if you've heard of that, Matt, or
maybe that. Yeah. Okay.
I had to buy a license, and I think it was like $200, installed it on my computer. It's better than what I was using before, which was a free version of the Microsoft movie editor, video editor, or something like that. But it's still a little time consuming. And, when we were talking at the beginning, I mentioned to you that I've done the same thing myself. I use an iPhone for recording. I was using the lapel mic to capture audio, filmed it in this room actually. So I use natural lighting for the videos, but then I didn't want to do the post-production. I didn't have the large budget. And I put out an ask to people and said, what's your experience with Fiverr? And, you know, I got a bunch of people saying, hey, I know a video company. I'm like, I know video companies. Like, I know that there's a bunch of people in the area. I'm just not at that point yet with my business where I can pay 5, 10, 15, 20,000 plus. And I can go on Fiverr and do editing, you know, assign the editing work for $5. But I think the point you mentioned earlier is you've got to give them direction. What I've learned, and I've done 2 videos so far, is the first person, it was okay. It was $5 and I got my dollar's worth. The sound level was a little low and I didn't think until after I said I'm done to have her to adjust it. The second time I paid $25. It was a better quality in terms of the production work. Still not perfect because I watched it and it was, you know, like you said, 5 minutes of coverage. They edited it down to 2.5 minutes and it felt too long. But it was time I didn't have to spend on editing.
Yeah. The iPhone has I think there's an iMovie app too. I think it's like $10.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, so it's a matter of learning it, right?
Yeah. So Sandra says try Canon EOS R.
Yeah.
I don't get super caught up in the technology. That was one of the things that I wasn't crazy about when we were like. That's one of the struggles I have with the production world, the video production world, is it very quickly becomes about the technology that you're using, the cameras, the lenses. And to me, that stuff just like, it took a back seat to what is the message that you're sending.
Yeah.
You know, but try the Canon EOS R. Sandra knows.
Yeah.
She's got it.
Very cool.
Thanks, Sandra.
I think we're going to wrap in just a few minutes here, man. I'm just going to give a couple more shout outs real quick, if you could hang tight there. So Tabitha, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Teddy Burris, thanks for joining us today. Teddy, nice to see your name online. Hannah says, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Hannah. And let's see, Paul Sherwood, nice to see you, Paul. I might be inviting you to come on live with me, so get ready for that. Laura Robb. Laura has a question for you, Matt. Do you suggest the external webcam be of a certain quality spec? So I think she's referring here to if you're not using your desktop cam, if you're using an external webcam. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't. I feel like you would. Don't you have an external cam?
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. I'm looking at the camera right now. It says HP 1080p. It's like when they call me for my car and they say, is it a V6 or V8 or V12 or C3PO or what? I'm like, I don't know what it is. You guys, it's my car. I don't know what this webcam. It says HP 1080p. Is that specs? Is that what she's referring to? I really don't know, Matt. I'm not just being silly.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to these questions, but I would, I'm sure there are answers on the internet.
Yeah. All right, cool.
In the reviews. But thanks for the question.
Yeah, no, great. And Cassandra asked, how polished do you think your video should be? You know, Sandra, I mean, I think what Matt has been saying all along is you get better and better by doing the video. So, I just think don't overthink it too much. I mean, you guys can even tell going on, if you're online with us live today, Matt and I are just talking back and forth, and we could have scripted this and we could have just trashed the whole thing, but it's, people want to see genuineness in what you're doing. And certainly if you've got the budget, somebody like Matt can help you to make your videos much more polished, but don't overthink it. Right, Matt? That's what I'm hearing the theme you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I care less about, like, audio is a thing for people, right? Like if I click on a video and the audio is bad, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So audio has to be good.
Right.
And then I think you can make any camera with like a proper background and a decent window or light in front of you look good enough.
Yeah.
So I would like, don't get too caught up in it. And I think you have to, you have to not be super good at it in order to get good at it. Like,
right.
That's what
Right.
It's about.
Right.
Ryan Coral, you're a rock star.
Do you know Ryan? Is this what you know?
I do know Ryan. He's a rock star.
Ryan has a question for you as well, Matt. Is this signing autographs? Do you have a pen? I've got a pen.
Yeah. I brought a whole stack of my picture. Just pictures of my face. Yep. I'll be handing them out.
That's funny. Yeah. All right,
guys. Got jokes.
I think we're going to wrap here to get everybody going on the weekend. So just a couple of final things here, and then I'll Matt, I'll give you the format to say any final words, but I just want to encourage everybody, if you're watching in, the theme today has been don't be perfect, just be videoing yourself. Get out there and do stuff. You'll learn as you go. Find experts and resources that can help you. You know, Matt's got a wealth of free resources that he's given throughout the broadcast day. So play this back and jot down some notes. I'll try to remember and put them in the YouTube link as well for the playback here. If you're not already connected with Matt after this broadcast, go on his LinkedIn, check out his profile, and then invite him to connect. Tell him that you saw his LinkedIn live today, and definitely connect with him. And then if you're interested in learning about more of these LinkedIn broadcasts that I'm doing, go on mellermarketing.com/subscribe, and I'll send out notifications for upcoming shows that we're doing here. So I think that's it, Matt. Any final comments for the group before we send off the group to their weekend here?
I mean, you did a pretty good job. I would reiterate, start talking about your customer's challenge.
Yeah.
Like, talk about your customer's challenge, talk about how you help them solve it.
Okay.
That is the gist of this work.
That's a good point. So when you're doing video, that's a good theme to think about. So thinking about telling that story through talking about the challenges and how you're solving the challenges, right? You've got the antler going on right now, the way you're sitting right there. You had it like perfectly in between you look like you had the antler. There you go, right there. That's pretty cool.
Look how cute I look.
That's too funny.
All right. Thank you.
Matt, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you, guys. And if you're watching the playback later on, definitely still drop your comment below. And if you're watching this video right now and you haven't already done so, give us a like, give us a comment, just tell us where in the world you are and when you're watching this, if you're watching this live or in playback. I'll send Matt the link to this video later so he can respond to any comments or questions that you guys might have. And where are we going here? What's happening right now?
I was just looking at the deer.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I heard someone recently say, let's link in. Have you heard that? Let's link in.
Let's Lincoln, let's Washington, let's, you know.
Very funny.
All right. Thanks for joining. Have a great.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Now we do the awkward ending where we just wait for it to go off. You ready? Here we go. Oh, wait. I got to hit end broadcast first. You want to be?
This is nice.
Celebrity cameo for my daughter over here. All right.
Hey, she's half daughter, half deer.